Well, a tragic story indeed. And to discuss more, I'm joined by Shilpi Jain, who's a lawyer, who's a Supreme Court lawyer, and of course, Dilip Cherian, founder, Perfect Relations. Appreciate you joining us live on Mirror Live. I will start with Shilpi. Shilpi, from what we know, there is a case registered under two sections. One is 287, which is negligent conduct with respect to machinery, and 304A, which is causing death by negligence of the IPC. But these are bailable offences. And so that's my first question. And a part of it is also who all come under this gamut. Who are we holding responsible when we say that there was negligence?
What's happened is appalling. It's distressing. Ever since I have heard about this, I haven't been able to get it out of my system. This is happening in the capital of the country, at the railway station, where lakhs of people visit every day. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's not happening in a village or in a corner. And the sections you are talking about, according to me, it's a clear case of culpable homicide not amounting to murder, which means that you had knowledge that if somebody touches this wire, that person can lose life, which is a murder charge under 304, not under 302, because we can understand there's no intention, but there's certainly knowledge. From what I have seen in the video clips, the wires are such that it's apparent to a layman that if somebody touches them, there's bound to be electrocution. And you're leaving them loose in the capital of the country at the railway station, knowing that lakhs. Is that how cheap human life is in India and in Delhi? What price will you put for life of a mother, a wife, a daughter? She had children. And it's amazing how the authorities say we admit lapses. It can't stop at that. Heads have to roll. People have to resign. FIRs have to be there. Arrests have to be made. A person has been killed, murdered. It's not just negligence. I don't think negligence is the right word. Negligence is when you do something you are not aware of. Here they are aware if they are naked wires in an electric pole and somebody touches them, and this is in the daytime, right in the heart of the city. We need resignations at the highest level, and we need FIR. The sections have to change to murder. 304. Bailable sections don't make any difference. We will discuss it in newsrooms. It will come in the headlines for a couple of days, then it's business as usual. There has to be something exemplary happening this time to stop this from repeating.
Right, absolutely. Ma'am Jain, thank you for sharing all those views. Something very important that you highlight that, this is just going to make headlines for a couple of days, but this is not enough to call it plain negligence. It can be called a culpable homicide. Appreciate you joining us, Ma'am Jain. I will go to Mr. Cherian. Mr. Cherian, thank you for joining us. A young mother, two children, 10 and 6. And they were being taken to a train station, want to use the railways because they haven't been on a train before. So, of course, there's one end where, there's everything that we talk about aviation. Here, it's an Indian Railways. It's a public, it's not a private sector, it's a public sector. Lakhs of people in this country use it. We see optics about, new trains being flagged off every day, every week. Monthly, there are these Vande Bharat trains, and that's the intention with which the kids and the mother was taken. What does this mean for the image of the Indian Railways?
I think this means that life is cheap, and we've just seen the horrific accident in Orissa, which took 300 lives. Every single life is valuable, important, and critical. There is no doubt that this incident, which happened in the heart of the capital, needs to get attention and must. But we are talking of sequential failures over the last few weeks and months. There is something fundamentally wrong, and we have to understand that safety cannot be ignored. Safety has to be first before any style or any news service is touted. The other thing is that there is proof of a lack of command structure. Something is going wrong for the fact that inspectors, engineers, electricians, the linesmen, all of these are obviously recognizing that there is a laxity of control. When the command and control system of something like the railways begins to collapse, then the consequences for the country are terrifying. Number 4, this is proof that we as a country have the ability to protect our officials, but not our citizens. So slapping on the wrong set of charges, as lawyer Ms. Jain said, is proof that the police are quite willing to allow this matter to subside and die rather than have it in the public eye for any period of time. I'm so glad that media is reporting on it, that it is getting the attention it deserves. And unless we sustain campaigns like this, these matters will be brushed under the carpet, and business as usual will be the practice of whosoever is at fault. Now, the reason I'm highlighting this is because, as we know, the railways are a major source of transportation for millions of people in India, especially those who are not able to make it to planes, aircraft, or use their own private transport on roads and highways. So we have to understand that for
Absolutely.
this
Also, one of the
audience,
biggest
for this
revenue generating entities of the government, right? And I'm glad you mentioned the very recent Odisha tragedy, Mr. Cherian. But also, we can't forget that we are trying to put ourselves on the global map. We are on the global map. But, when you say life comes cheap, right? Is that the message that's going out? This is in the heart of the national capital. This is New Delhi railway station. It's visited. There's a footfall of at least lakhs every day. This is not a small obscure station in some part of the country. So what about Delhi infrastructure?
I think that it is a little unfair for us to distinguish between one kind of life or one kind of location and the other. Yes, there are differences in standards of service, but I think the value of life needs to be raised and compensation needs to be at a level where it is penal on the organization. It has to hurt the organization to kill ordinary citizens with the service it provides. I think that is fundamental. And, as far as the capital is concerned, the railways control everything in and around the station. So this has very little to do with anybody other than one organizational responsibility who should have taken care, because this comes within their premises.
Right, Mr. Cherian, appreciate you joining us. And Ms. Jain, thank you for joining us on Mirror Live and sharing those key, inputs and, of course, views regarding this tragic incident that has taken